When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0.
Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hey guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. Let's continue where we last left off in our story. After they entered the back of the entrance, using the vents to get into the structure, after requiring a keycard from one of the guards, they continued their pathway deeper into the off-the-books military base in Academy City. That clearly doesn't want the rest of the government to find out what they're doing down here. There's a lot of unanswered questions Izuku wants answers to why are they suppressing information about his kind, espers, and what exactly they're doing here in Academy City in a off-the-books operation. This is clearly a Black Ops military faction, part of the military. It's very odd and suspicious considering all the soldiers are not wearing any type of uniform to identify them being part of the military. Aside of the well-armed, military-grade weaponry they're carrying. Short pause, I'm using a new headset with a microphone on it, so I'm going to see how this microphone does on this part. If it does well, then I'll continue to use it until it breaks. You know how these headsets, microphones are, they don't last forever. Alright, let's continue. Let's just continue with the story. As the group from UA approached the only door at the end of the hallway inside the base, it seemed to be activated by keycard alone. There's no other way to the other side of the door without ripping the door off its hinges, whatever. Let's continue. Momo, as soon as we open this door, I want you to create gas grenades, and you, Shoto. The moment Momo throws out her smoke grenades, freeze the floor immediately. My survival instinct is telling me that there's probably several armed men behind that door. While they're in a panic, I'll lift them up in the air and slam them against the wall, knocking them out. We could search them afterwards, see if they have any similar keycards. I highly doubt they're only using what type of keycards throughout the whole military base. I'll start creating them now with my creation quirk. Just give me a few minutes. No reason to rush. They are unaware of our presence so far. Surprisingly, I haven't came across any security cameras. That doesn't mean there aren't any further down below into the base. Well, Nezu kept quiet and allowed them to strategize. He found Izuku's plan quite interesting. He was amazed he came up with this on the spot. To utilize his partner's abilities to fulfill to the fullest. He was most impressed. Izuku can tell. Nezu was quite impressed. He could tell Izuku is going to be a good hero when he officially starts his hero career as a pro hero. Principal Nezu's inner thoughts. The boy keeps impressing me. Intelligent, vicious, willing to work with others, even if he doesn't get along with Even if he doesn't get along, I could see him forming a team regardless. More than willing to cooperate with other people. And he is extremely powerful with his powers and his physical strength. Indeed, he could be a runner-up for the #1 hero in the near future. I look forward to the events of the sports festival, especially during the mock battles. I have a good hunch you're going to win it hands down. Nezu stops pondering and gave Izuku the key card. They seem to be ready to act. Izuku took the key card and slid it through the scanner. As the door finally opened, Momo threw out several smoke grenades in the room. Momo handed Izuku a gas mask as he put it on, while Todoroki frees the ground on the other side of the door, making several of the other people on the other side of the door slip and fall on their behind. While Izuku blitzed into the smoke, when he got to the middle of the room, he unleashed his telekinesis pulse and threw everyone in the area against the wall, knocking them out instantly. Eventually all the smoke went through the vents, making the room visible once again. Izuku's team sees 3 different hallways that could lead anywhere to the base. Izuku is unsure how big this base is. He figures the base might have some sub-levels as well. So Izuku's going to be very cautious moving forward. Izuku took off the gas mask after the smoke cleared away, after it traveled through the vents. I believe it would be prudent to split up. Wouldn't you agree? I don't like the idea, but you do have a point. We could cover more ground. It's only a matter of time until they notice us. So how do you want to do this, Shoto and Momo? Me and Momo could take one of the hallways, and you take the other. That's what I suggest we do 2 teams. Me and Momo take one pathway. You and Principal Nezu take the other. We could easily backtrack to take the last hallway that we didn't take yet. Understood. Just be careful, Shoto. Nezu jump onto Izuku's shoulder while the other 2 take one of the other hallways, leaving the middle hallway unexplored. They could easily backtrack to this area again if they need to. They briefly separate to cover more ground. Shoto and Momo travel down the hallway. Shoto peeked around the corner of the hallway, seeing several well-armed people with cameras connected all along the wall down the hallway. We need to come up with a plan, Momo. Momo is biting one of her fingernails, trying to think of a strategy. We could do something similar like we did prior. I'll make some flashbangs. I know exactly how to create them, so I'll use... I figured they would come in handy in the future. And I recommend you freeze the entire hallway so the cameras will be disabled because of the cold temperatures. Electronics don't tend to work in cold conditions. Then we simply have to attack while we have the element of surprise. It's probably the best plan for the situation. Let's go. I'm on board. After a few seconds, Momo tossed a couple of flashbangs over the corner of the hallway. When there's a bright flash, Shoto placed his hand onto the ground, freezing the floor, including the walls, making the cameras no longer function because of how the parts are frozen inside. Shoto slide down the hallway and uses the right side to using small bursts, making the closest soldier slamming into a wall of the hallway from the short burst of pressure coming from his fire side, releasing like a rocket boost. Shoto used his left side to cover his arm with a thin layer of ice. Slam his fist into the first opponent that's closest to him, knocking the man out instantly from the force, while Momo came jumping over Shoto's shoulder, slamming her foot across one of the soldiers that was temporarily blinded by the flashbang, knocking him out, then attacking another one with her bow staff she created in mere seconds after slamming her foot into the man's face. As she slammed her staff across the man's face that was left standing, while Shoto slid forward and took care of the rest of them. With a combination of both methods, it only took him a couple seconds. It was quite easily, despite them being soldiers. They took him out pretty fast with the element of surprise. About time they figure out what's going on, it was already too late. Shoto grabbed Momo and jumped backwards, barely missing an incoming droid. Two small droids come running through the hallway, shooting nitroglycerin shots. This specific mech shoot out nitroglycerin shots out of the barrel of his weapon that the droid was installed with. The ice droid itself is about the size of a full-grown human. Both ice droids installed with a minor AI matrix, given the ability to come up with strategies in the midst of battle. They might be small and not very powerful, but what makes them dangerous is the capabilities of learning in the midst of battle. Shoto used his right side and unleashed a huge amount of fire, engulfing the robots in the entire hallway. When the smoke cleared, mechs were no longer there. The hallway itself was melted. The hallway was instantly melted alongside with burn marks. The unconscious people are behind him, so he didn't fry anyone to death. Some of the wall and ceiling on the floor have bright red marks from the extreme heat. Basically, the hallway is heating up from the fire. Hope Izuku's having a better chance than us. As we cut to Principal Nezu and Izuku, Izuku's been walking down his hallway for quite some time. He hasn't seen anything suspicious, outside of a few cameras now and then, but he crushed them with his telekinesis. Izuku heard an alarm go off and incoming footsteps heading towards his direction from the front. When the armed men became visible, he slammed each one of them with his telekinesis against the hallway metal wall, knocking them out fairly easy. He finally approached the end of the hallway as he sees a humongous metal thick blast door. Judging by the door panel attached to the wall, it seems to be operated by a pin combination. Interesting, a different security measure than the other door. Getting through here without a code will be very difficult. Really don't have time for searching for a code, so I'm going to have to do this the more forceful route. I'm going to forcefully open this door using my telekinesis. I'm going to be vulnerable until then, until the door finally opens. Understood. I've been meaning to try these out. Anyways, as you take out some high-tech gloves that shoot out small bits of electricity out of the gloves through the circuitry that was implanted into the gloves itself. If anyone approaches, I'll give them a nasty shock. It's to knock them out, judging how much electricity I discharge through their nervous system. Izuku stands both his hands outwards and gather all the psychic energy to forcefully open the blast door. As the door slowly begins to open, Nezu heard footsteps coming towards their direction. When the opponents became visible, Nezu shot a spark of electricity out of his gloves, making all the soldiers drop to the ground, twitching from being shocked. We're in. Nezu jump onto Izuku's shoulder as they dive through the door, as it shuts behind them. Izuku notices a huge room that they're in is completely empty, but he sees a similar door across from the other side of the room. Crap, it looks like we're going to have to do the same thing to this door as well. Give me a minute to catch my breath. Using my telekinesis on such a large door, it just took a lot of effort. I just need to catch my breath for a minute. Take your time, my boy. Izuku and Principal Nezu turned their head from the noise from the door opening from across the room. The big door opened itself by itself, revealing a stationary, huge combat droid. Or robot. Whatever phrase you want to label it. Battle droid activated. Sensors online. Weapons online. Ready to scanning. Hostiles confirmed. Begin getting eradication protocols. Esper located. Exterminate Esper threat with extreme prejudice. Crap. The droid immediately opened fire upon Izuku, unleashing a rain of bullets from his arms as the Gatling gun opened fire. Izuku used a small telekinesis barrier over Principal Nezu, so no stray bullets hit him by accident. Izuku stopped all the bullets in the middle of the air. That when they got to the halfway point, all the bullets stop, hovering in midair. Then he redirected the bullets and shot them at the battle droid, only to hit an invisible shield around the killing machine. Quite fascinating. It has its own shields. Attacking head-on is probably won't work. Try using your telekinesis on the robot. You tried to move the machine with his telekinesis as he heard a light hum coming from the robot. As his telekinesis was interrupted, stopping Izuku from moving the robot. or causing the robot any damage. Surprising, Izuku. Amazing. It even has countermeasures against people with telekinesis. This one's going to be hard to crack. Izuku used his telekinesis to increase his speed. He had no choice as he saw an incoming miniature-sized rocket that is coming from the bot, the part of the shoulders that revealed itself, as he sees many miniature-sized rockets behind a small metal covering on the shoulder blade, well, on the shoulders, as rockets shoot out towards Nezu and Izuku. Izuku tried to use his telekinesis again to redirect the missiles back at the robot, only for the robot shields to neutralize the blast. Izuku was just relieved his telekinesis wasn't blocked. He assumes every time he uses his telekinesis on the robot itself, it will cancel it out. He's going to have to use the battle droid's weaponry against itself. Izuku flew across the room, dodging arrays of bullets. Izuku flew around the room, dodging gunfire and the small rockets that the robot is shooting out. He uses what chances he got, redirecting the gunfire and rockets back at the battle mech, only for the shield to stop it before it can make any damage onto the unit. Izuku noticed Nezu's having a time of his life as he's slapping Izuku on the back, telling him to go faster, laughing psychotically while he's dodging gunfire and explosions. I've been watching his pattern. It's about to fire a whole load of those missiles. I suggest you use your telekinesis at that moment to target one spot of the robot. Hopefully that should short circuit the shield. If the explosion goes inside the shield, his shield will be completely useless. I noticed the shield has a certain amount of range. If you detonate the missiles before it shoots it off, that should do the work. That should do the job. Got it, Principal Nezu, as Izuku does a barrel roll, dodging a rain of bullets. When the battle mech was about to release its missiles, Izuku used his telekinesis to rupture the inside of the missiles. Miniature-sized missiles, exploding the missiles before it was shot out, as there's a loud explosion as the shield goes off, but the explosion is inside the shield, damaging the battle mech extremely. Pretty badly. The robot barrier finally went down as the smoke finally cleared, as Izuku sees the heavily damaged battle mech, or droid. Izuku can see the sparks emitting from the weapon. Izuku extended both his hands out as he slowly begins to crush the battle mech until it was a round ball. As he drops to the ground, breathing heavy. It was exciting. Never been shot out while flying. That was the first. Shall we go, young Midoriya? Let's go before another one of the things show up. Izuku went back the way he came, because of the humongous blast door that led to some sort of containment area for that humongous droid that he finally destroyed. He finally got to the main room where they were originally when they took the different pathways. As he met up with Momo and Shoto, they were waiting for him to take the last tunnel. They followed the long hallway that led to an elevator that only has one button going deeper into the base, going downwards. Izuku pressed the only button in the elevator. The moment the elevator stopped on the bottom floor, when the elevator door opened up, Izuku could hear gunshots further ahead. When they finally walked down the pathway leading to the source of all the noise, leading to the only room on the floor, Izuku saw a white-haired boy with red eyes, shocking one of the scientists with his bioelectricity. As Izuku's eyes widen, "You actually think I would be your little toy? I might be a clone of Accelerator, but I won't be but I'm no one's plaything. I'm going to enjoy throwing this new world in complete chaos. After all, I'm the bad guy." "Your conditioning has failed." As the man falls dead to the ground, as Accelerator loosened his grip on the man's collar of his shirt, Accelerator began to use his vector controls to destroy the lab and fly upwards as he burst through the roof of the base, out into outside, breathing the fresh air for the first time. Accelerator, he's not the real Accelerator, he's just a clone. But he's going to have a constant goal, he's going to have a continuous goal to match the original and eventually surpass the original Accelerator. Oh dear, that can't be good. I suggest we should evacuate immediately. Agreed. Izuku is shocked, but he's keeping his composure to himself. While keeping his composure, there's no point in panicking. He still has no idea how Accelerator is still alive. He's unaware that this Accelerator is simply a clone. But he'll figure it out pretty fast. When they finally escape the base and escape Academy City, as they return to the same abandoned gas station they were prior when they entered the Academy before they entered Academy City, Izuku crossed his arms and leaned against the wall of the outside of the gas station. "How much do you know about Accelerator, Principal Nezu?" "I know enough to know he's bad news." He was originally a very dangerous and violent Esper, and eventually redeemed himself. At least that's what the information I have on him. I don't know how Accelerator is still alive and how he looks so young. If I had to take a guess in the dark, he's most likely a clone. You three head back home. I have to get to UA. I have to inform several people at the new developments. We might have a bigger threat than All For One himself. Would be an understatement. I briefly had an encounter with All For One when I was under mind control. What I know about this Accelerator. Accelerator makes All For One look like a Boy Scout. You're probably not wrong about the clone thing. That's the only thing that makes sense. There's no way he would be this young, still. He looks like he's still in his 18, 19 years old, about the same age as me. As eventually, they went back to the limousine, as Momo and Shoto drove Izuku back to his house. Well, the driver specifically. We cut back to Accelerator, a couple minutes before Izuku's little group escape the hidden military base, as Accelerator shoots out of the base, as he's floating in the air like he's flying. Accelerator bolted down and began his massacre on all the heavily armed men around Academy City. As a tank comes rolling towards him, as it shot a shell at Accelerator. Accelerator uses vectors when he flicked the shell, as it shoots back at the tank, blowing it up. As immediately the rest of the soldiers open fire, only for their bullets to get shot back at them, killing them all on the spot. That was way too easy. I'm surprised I have all the memories of the original. I wonder if there's more people like me. I will search the world until I find the most powerful Esper. We will have a glorious battle. I can't wait. Accelerator slowly walked towards a truck and kicked it as he activated his vector controls as the truck goes flying into a building. Accelerator used his vector control to escape Academy City as he spots a city in the distance, as he makes his way towards Hosu City, as he's leaping with his huge distance, basically flying towards Hosu City. While heading toward the city, Accelerator has a smirk on his face. Time to introduce myself to the locals. Just you wait, Accelerator is coming. When Accelerator got to the town, or city, he decided to walk the rest of the way to see, from the memories he got from Accelerator, from the originals, see if they match up to this current Japan. He could tell there's definitely differences, so he suspects that a lot of time has passed since the original died. Accelerator was about to walk past the alleyway until he heard a sounds of battle, as he sees someone throw fire out of sees a flame of fire coming from the alleyway. As he was quite curious, so he made his way down the alleyway. Accelerator stumbled upon two street punks fighting against each other. One apparently able to create fire from his hands, and the other is able to create electricity, shoot electricity out of his hands. Accelerator leaned against the wall of the alleyway, watching the battle. At first, Accelerator thought they were Espers, but after observing their battle, he had to change his opinion on that. He knows they're not Espers. I mean, clearly not Esper's abilities. They're not even on the same level of the weakest Esper. From the original Accelerator's memories. He got from the original. The two opponents separate from each other. You call that a battle? Truly pathetic. If you guys want a battle, I could give you a battle. The hell are you? They could say anything else. Accelerator blitz towards them and grab one of them by the face and slam him against the alley wall. As the punk screams, the kid basically, a little older than Accelerator, begins to scream out in pain, as Accelerator using the guy's bioelectricity to shock him to death. Nothing personal, fire wielder. You just don't interest me. Now, where were we? Accelerator watched the street punk that's able to produce electricity back away, then turn around and run out of the alleyway, while Accelerator simply smirked as he gave chase in a steady walk with his hands in his pockets. I do enjoy a good chase, little mouse. As he watches the panicking street punk run and eventually run into a police station. Well, this will be entertaining. Accelerator kicked down the door and stepped into the police station, seeing his prey hiding behind a couple of police officers. There you are. We have some questions for you. Of course, officer. As Accelerator walked slowly towards the police officer and took a nearby pen off the main desk that's in the lobby and put it behind his back. When he approached the two officers, Accelerator used his vector controls to flick the pin into the man's neck, make him gag for air, as he appeared right in front of the other police officer and grabbed the man by the face. Then redirect the man's blood as the police officer popped, as there's nothing left but a puddle of blood. Where were we, little mouse? Oh, that's right. You were running for your life. I'll give you a sporting chance. I'm a nice guy. I'll give you a head start. I'm gonna go back further into the police station and kill every single police officer here. The moment the last cop dies, the last heart stops, I will resume my hunt for you, little mouse. I'll scurry around like the little mouse you are. Accelerator watched his prey run out of the police station frantically, running for his life, as Accelerator walked towards the main door and kicked it open after he took some paper clips from the lobby desk and into his hands as he kicked the door open to the office area of the police station, as he sees several police officers at their desk doing their cases and files and basically just doing their job. Before the officers could look up, Accelerator used his vector controls to flick the paper clips through each officer's skull, killing them instantly before any of the officers knew what was going on. Accelerator has already killed 5, and the numbers keep increasing as he continues to flick paper clips at the sitting police officers. One of the police officers finally figured out what was going on. He immediately unholstered his gun and opened fire at Accelerator, only to see his bullets hover in the air and shoot right back at him. You shouldn't have done that. You would have lived a lot longer. Oh well. No reason to worry about over spilt milk. Let's speed things up, shall we? Shall we, boys? As Accelerator stomped his foot on the ground, as rock pillars come shooting out, crushing everyone in the room to the ceiling of the floor, as blood slowly begins to drip from the rock pillars that were crushing the officers to death. The Accelerator walked out of the police station calmly. The moment he got outside, he turned around and backed up a tad bit as a whirlwind shoots out of the sky and heading directly towards the police station. Before the whirlwind hit its target, the whirlwind immediately changed into pure plasma as the building was vaporized. As you see Accelerator extending both his hands outwards, start laughing uncontrollably. Still not the same level as the original Accelerator. There's clearly a power difference between me and the original. That would have took him a lot. That he would be able to do that in mere seconds. Accelerator turned around to continue his hunt. It took Accelerator only a few minutes to locate his quarry. Accelerator cornered his prey at an alleyway that led to a dead end. This is the end for you, my little mouse. How would you like to die? Crushed, electrocuted. Oh, and my favorite. I recommend this one, of course. I redirect your blood flow and you go pop. Be shy, little mouse. When Accelerator walked forward, he felt something hit his vectors as he sees two batarangs on the ground as he turned around to see a man dressed up like a bat. And who the fuck are you supposed to be? I'm Batman and I'm taking you in. You've caused enough trouble. I don't know who you are, but I'll find out sooner or later. Take me in? That would be an interesting feat. Batman. Give me a moment, Batman. I'll play with you. Accelerator moved so fast, he grabbed the street punk by the face, redirected his blood flow. As there was a loud splatter, as Batman's eyes widened, as there's nothing left of the man but a puddle of blood on the floor. Accelerator took some pebbles from the ground and began to flick them towards Batman, forcing Batman to dodge out of the way of the incoming pebbles that are moving as fast as bullets. Batman started to retreat to the street, so he has more room to move. Batman's unsure how his batarangs did not contact with the boy. Like they hit some sort of invisible shield. And in fact, he's able to use pebbles as a weapon. Bruce knows if one of those pebbles hit him, it'll go right through his body. Those pebbles are as dangerous as any bullet, so he has to be careful moving forward. So he's being very cautious how he approached this. Accelerator began to kick cars at Batman with using the vectors to increase the speed of the cars flying towards him. You know, the vectors from moving from point A to point B. Accelerator uses brief distraction to make his escape. Accelerator has already lost interest in fighting Batman. He has not displayed or shown any sort of power. Accelerator only has one desire: to find a worthy opponent to test his abilities against. Accelerator has no desire to waste his time with people with no abilities whatsoever. I mean, he fled. I couldn't get close enough to place a tracker on him. Alfred, I'm going to have to extend my stay in Japan. Good, sir. I'll inform the office. We'll be rescheduling several meetings. Only Izuku walked through the door. He saw both his girls in the living room waiting for him. You look like you just infiltrated a base. Not totally wrong there. It's been a long night. I just came across a clone of Accelerator. That's all. How's that even possible? According to the information you showed us, he died a long time ago. That's what I thought. Until I saw him at Academy City, inside a off-the-books military base. You were joking. What did you get yourself into, Izuku? It's over now. I'm gonna go jump in the shower. I'll tell you girls about it when I get out. I have a feeling this is not the last time I'll be seeing this Accelerator, regardless if he's the original or some sort of clone. He's definitely going to be trouble. Pain in my ass. I just know it. As Ivy watched Izuku walk away to go upstairs. Harley, why aren't you more worried about this? He's safe and at home. I was earlier, so he had a little encounter with a military base. It's not the first time he's done something like that. And the military base at Academy City is most likely an off-the-books operation. The fact that they build a military base at Academy City, they're definitely up to no good. Definitely a Black Ops operation. I know. With my time with the Suicide Squad, I know when I see a off-the-books operation, Black Ops. He's not covered in blood, so he didn't kill anyone. Even if he did, I wouldn't care. As long as he's home safe, that's all that matters. I suppose you're right. I might be overreacting. I have no doubt he'll tell us when he gets out of the shower. Izuku soaking his head over the shower head, with the water dropping down through his hair. Hot, steaming water through his hair. We still got the League running around. Now we got Accelerator. Going to cause God knows what type of havoc. I just have a sinking feeling I'm the one that's going to end up stopping him at the end. I really don't want to deal with him. Dealing with the League is one thing, but dealing with a very psychotic psychopath battle maniac, it's just going to be a headache that I really don't want to deal with. Izuku is too deep in thought to notice hands wrapped around his waist as Ivy lay her head against Izuku's back. Sorry, I overreacted when he got home. I'm not gonna lie, I was really worried about you. It's fine, Ivy. I wasn't expecting to find a military base in Academy City. I figured I'll find a laboratory at the most, not a full functioning military base. And the fact that I came across the Accelerator at that base just adds to my troubles. We were lucky that Accelerator caused such much of a distraction. We managed to get out unnoticed. Don't worry, I didn't kill anyone. We were ordered to use non-lethal the entire time. But we did fight a bunch of military-grade robots. They were more a threat than the soldiers were. They were clearly not wearing any military uniform. I suspect parts of the Japan government are not aware of the base existence and what the hell they were doing there in the first place. I can't do nothing about it at this current time. I need to get my mind on the sports festival. I'll worry about Accelerator at a later date. Regardless if he's the original or if he's possibly a clone. To me, being a clone is most likely the most logical sense. What information I have on Accelerator, according to what is written on that little flash drive I got from Shoto, he died in his late 40s, so there's no way that Accelerator is the same. He definitely has to be a clone. I just hope the League of Villains don't recruit Accelerator. That's the last thing we need. As we time skip a few days, Izuku is concentrating on his training until the sports festival. The class was given a break after the USJ attack. Izuku planned to take full advantage of his time for the upcoming sports festival, training his abilities. As you see Izuku at one of the training areas where the students go to develop their power moves with their quirks. Izuku is maneuvering around several medium-sized rocks and destroying them with his hands and feet when he can. Izuku is trying to get a handle of his augmented strength that was gifted to him during the mind control experiment, basically. Izuku can tell he's not at that maximum full potential of his upgraded body, so he's trying to tap into it. You see Black Canary in the observing room watching Izuku train, as she's standing right next to a friend of the league, Connor Kent, aka Superboy. Well, no Superman. So that's the kid you told me about. Izuku Midoriya Esper. His body was genetically altered. To what extent, I'm not sure yet. It is possible he can match any Kryptonian hand-to-hand in combat. He's still trying to learn his limits with his physical strength. We'll see about that, Black Canary. I'll test the brat. There might be kind of a little damage from the structure. Powerful as you say. Already green light it from Principal Nezu. As long as you don't go too crazy, you should be fine. Honestly, the kid doesn't need training for the sports festival. He's far too powerful for the event. But I figured you would be able to take him to his limits. I plan to, Canary. I'll definitely take him to his limits. This is going to be fun. I always like a good fight. He was dodging floating rocks while he's controlling them with his telekinesis. Izuku sensed danger and spun around and threw out a punch. Izuku collided with Superman's punch as they made a humongous shockwave from the mere force of their fists colliding with each other. Notice 8 incoming medium-sized rocks heading towards his direction. He was forced to jump backwards as he swung his fist at the flying rocks, breaking them that were heading towards his direction. He dodged the rest. Judging by the emblem on your shirt, you're a Kryptonian. You have the emblem of Superman. Too much, kid. You have good reflexes and impressive power from that one strike alone. Let's see what else you got, kid. Connor got into a fighting stance. Izuku couldn't help but smirk. He was hoping he would come across a Kryptonian in a fight. He wants to see how he stacked up against a Kryptonian. Superman, Supergirl, Superboy, it didn't matter as long as it was a Kryptonian. I could play with you for a little while. Sure, why not? As Izuku got into a fighting stance himself. Back at the observing area, Black Canary is watching the battle on the huge monitor that's in the room, as majority of Class 1A walk in to get their own training in. Hello, class. You came to get some training, and I take it? It seems like Izuku had a similar idea. A green-haired bastard is training. Bakugo's eyes widen, seeing who Izuku is fighting. Who's that? Who is Izuku fighting against? Is he some sort of new hero? It's not just any hero, Rockface. That green-haired bastard is fighting against Superboy, a well-known hero that I've been keeping track of ever since I found out about his existence. All might be the #1 hero in Japan, but he doesn't hold a candle to Superman and his kin. That green-haired bastard is fighting a Kryptonian. I can't wait to see that green-haired bastard get his ass kicked. Now that's what I call entertainment. Not very nice to say about a fellow classmate, Bakugo. Shut up, moneybags. No one asked for your opinion. I know what you're talking about. Think I'm a moron, moneybags. Your last name is well known, and the way you dress and talk, you scream rich kid. Daddy's little princess. Class, I want you to pay attention to this. 1v1 match between your classmate Izuku Midoriya against Superboy. You'll be facing him in the sports festival, so I suggest you pay closely attention. What's your game, Blondie? Dare you to say that. Say that again. Bakugo. Don't get your pennies in a bunch. The rude brat over there. At your all current level, you wouldn't stand a chance against Izuku. He has something you do not have yet. He has battle experience. He has grew up in Gotham City. That city will eat any weakness and spit you out. You have to be tough to survive those streets. He's been using his powers long before he got accepted to UA. Currently, none of you stand a chance. And that's just a fact. What me with these extras. Care if you accept it or not. Compared to Izuku, you're a mere amateur, Bakugo. Just I hate to admit it, Sensei's right, Bakugo. Izuku is powerful and experienced in the ways of battle. I don't know about you, Bakugo, but I tend to learn everything I can from this little battle between our classmate and Superboy. I won't squander this chance to learn anything useful I could use against them during a match. I won't allow simple pride to blind me. Bakugo might not say it out loud, but he knows Izuku's quite powerful, so he bit his lip and started to pay attention to the match extremely closely. That's where we're gonna stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Judge my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.